Today on CBTV Idaho, we're going to be getting a very special behind-the-scenes look at the progress of the Heise Hot Springs pool construction project. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. My name is Tyson, and you are watching Construction Business TV. Idaho Falls, Idaho. Welcome back, guys, to CBTV Idaho. My name is Tyson, and I'm your local journalist and videographer for Construction Business TV in the East Idaho area. If this is your first time on the channel, CBTV is a YouTube-based news platform dedicated to keeping you up to date on all the construction and development projects going on in your local area. I'm going to start this off, as always, with a local job post lead. CRH is looking to hire 3 positions in the Idaho Falls area. They're looking for paving laborers, multiple paving laborers, highway construction foreperson, and a highway construction superintendent. I'm going to leave a link in the description below. You can follow that link to Indeed.com to get more information on any of these positions, as well as how to apply for them. And before we jump out to Heise Hot Springs, I'm going to give you a current lumber market price update. As of today, the current lumber market price is set to $456.20 per 1,000 board feet. This is down from $506 when I reported on this last week. So it's also noteworthy to mention that the lumber price 2 years ago was set to $356 per 1,000 board feet. So as predicted, lumber seems to finally be settling into a new base price, and experts don't expect it to ever be as low as it was 2 years ago. If you're finding value in the content that I'm providing for you on a weekly basis and want to follow the construction projects going on in the East Idaho area, make sure you hit the like button under the video. Make sure you subscribe to Construction Business TV and hit the notification bell so that you get updated when these videos come out every week. With that, let's go out to Heise Hot Springs. This morning I had the opportunity to drive back out to the Heise Hot Springs pool area to report again on the construction of this pool that is quickly coming to completion, to the high anticipation of the East Idaho community. I had the chance to speak today with Chad Davies, the sales manager for Mastercraft Pool and Spa, and got to pick his brain on what his field of work is like. Before we cut to that interview, I should warn you in advance, I was having some issues with the connection on my microphone, so there's going to be a little bit of distortion at some points during the interview. I appreciate your patience in advance for that. And with that, let's check out what Chad had to say. Ben, how long has this project been under construction?
Yeah, so Brennan with Heise Hot Springs, he reached out to us in September. He had already started demo on the old pool, and so we jumped right in and started getting engineering done and getting plans built to create this masterpiece out here. So, we had several months of demo in the fall and plan creation that took us into January.
This was fall of 2020?
Correct, yep, fall of 2020. This pool was used last year at this time, and then as soon as they closed the summer pool for the season, Brennan got started on demo and then got us involved to get it put back together again.
So a lot of other contractors that I've spoken with who have continued to work through the pandemic season have said that they've, if anything, have seen an influx in work. Like they have, like that field of work has not struggled so much. Would you say the same thing about what you guys have been doing?
Absolutely, and I would even bet that our industry has even seen a greater influx than just standard building. From March of 2020, the pandemic started and people were asked to stay home. We had people wanting hot tubs and pools to have something to enjoy quality family time.
Something to do at home.
No more vacations last summer, and that's even, spanned into this year. And so our industry nationwide has just exploded. We're dealing with manufacturer problems where the demand is so great that could never have planned for the amount of supply that they needed to create to keep all these pools moving. We're fortunately not as far out as some people, but a lot of pool builders in Salt Lake, bigger markets, they're pushing to 2023 and 2024 on their schedules to even get anything done for anybody.
That's job security, though. If that's not job security, I don't know what is.
It is job security, but it's also frustrating on our part because we want everybody that wants to be swimming, we want you to be in your pool enjoying it as soon as possible.
I think we'll get you swimming in by 2024.
Yeah, people don't really like to hear that, especially when you can buy something on Amazon and see it the next day.
One of those just blow up pools for your backyard.
Sure. This is what's called the plaster, and we've got it's a mixture of cement and quartz and marble, and it waterproofs the shell and gives the surface a nice smooth finish. Underneath it is just kind of raw concrete that's pretty rough and porous. It doesn't allow the water to stay in the pool.
The stuff we're standing on right here.
Yep. So once we get this done, we're gonna start putting water in it today. We actually
Really?
like it to cure underwater. We do have a curing process of about 28 days before it's fully cured and can be usable, but we do that underwater to get the best finish possible for them. It's set up, so now they're just putting the final trowel of the hard plaster to smooth it out, and you might even see some steps that aren't finished. We're standing in a portion that's not finished, and we're gonna tackle that right after lunch.
How many hands do you have working on this today?
So I think we've got a dozen guys out here in the pool troweling, and then our support crew, we've got several. We've got 2 different mixers that we're mixing our own batch right here.
So about 20 guys. Has it been a challenge at all in keeping the staffing that you need? A lot of other industries, as you know, in the country struggle with keeping a full staff in their company. I know that Hawkins Concrete had that problem for a little bit. Is that something that you've struggled with?
We have had some struggles with staffing. We've brought in a couple of guys from Arizona. We brought in an excellent help from Oregon, and we've been able to hire locally as well, and they've all jumped in and have done excellent. A lot of people with skill, a lot of people that were training and teaching, and they're side by side with those skilled hands. So we're always hiring, we're always looking for more guys, but we've been able to manage with.
It's manageable with what you have, but you would welcome more hands.
Yeah, so if we can grow and expand and achieve that, it's all for the better.
Very cool. So as a message to the people viewing who may be in a position where they could come out and fill this position, I guess we want to speak to them. What is some of the most rewarding things you see about this line of work, and then what would you say has been the most challenging thing for you?
We'll start with the challenging first. It's not easy work. It is hard, back-breaking work, and we don't want to sugarcoat it. Being hunched over all day with a trowel in your hand, or even if you're not a cement finisher, we've got plumbers on staff, we've got tile guys on staff, concrete guys. We build fun. And so
that should be on your shirt. We build fun.
It should be, but everybody loves when their crew shows up to work on their pool, and And that moment when you turn the pool over to the owners, whether it's commercial, residential, and they get to jump in and start enjoying it, that's worth every minute.
You said you started this project last year, is that right? Yeah. And the timeline of that, what kind of completion date are we seeing?
So yeah, this is really an 18-month project. To put it into perspective, Blaine County, they just underwent a new pool project, a smaller pool, and they are just finished this spring, and they took all of last summer off to make it happen. So they started summer of 2020, shut down for the whole season, worked on the pools, and just finished it this spring. So we are feeling pretty good. I know that it's frustrating for a lot of people that have traditions with Heise and love coming up here to enjoy their summers. We get it, and we're thankful for your patience. But we're gonna have this thing wrapped in a year of calendar time. But really, we couldn't even get started on rebuilding until March due to weather. So knocking it out in, what is that, 8 or 9 months, maybe even less. We're feeling pretty good about what we've accomplished, especially with some of the struggles that we've had with supply. There's been concrete shortages, there's been plastic shortages, which has carried into our piping. There's been steel shortages, which there's rebar throughout this whole pool. And then the manufacturing delays that we've faced due to the nature of the coronavirus and everything involved around that. We've got excellent guys in our office that have stayed on top of all of these materials and ordered ahead of time and accordingly to make sure that everything's here on time in a decent manner.
So what I'm hearing is that you were somehow able to take what you say an 18-month project, turn it into a 9-month project despite the supply shortages and the supply challenges, and I would like to assume have not compromised the structural integrity of the pool.
Yeah, absolutely. That is number one priority, and we want to give you still a high quality product, and so we would accommodate what we could, but sometimes we'd have to turn them down and say we can't make that happen, unfortunately.
You have to say no sometimes.
Exactly.
Because this thing has to last. This pool's been around, what, 100 years?
1900s.
Yeah.
It's the oldest pool in Idaho.
And we want it to last another 100.
Absolutely.
Is there anything that you want to leave the audience with on your work here or your company?
So, yeah, we've enjoyed being a part of this project. We've been working with Brennan, for the last year on this project, but have been involved here at Heise Hot Springs for several years before that, in the supply and the repair and the maintenance side of things. So, just to recap, we are going to have this pool plastered today. We're going to start filling it up, and then we just have that curing time. While it's curing, they're going to be putting final touches on the equipment room and on the area around it to make it safe for general public. And sometime mid-September, it will be open and ready to go. Just watch Heise Hot Springs Facebook page for any updates on schedule of opening. And this pool is now heated, and so they will be able to use it late into the season. I believe the plan is to use it weekends for as long as they can.
According to the Heise Hot Springs Facebook page, the residents of Eastern Idaho can enjoy this new pool in September of this year. And that's going to do it for this week's episode of CBTV Idaho. If you have any questions or comments, or if you have any projects going on in your local area that you would like to know more about, make sure that you include all that information in the comment section below. Thank you guys so much for your time, and thank you for your support. You guys drive safe.